World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to People Power, the show all about the people with Soulful Synergy co-founders Dwayne Norris and my best friend and business partner, Alejandro Alvarez. We're fresh back from a nice trip. Last week, we went down to Colorado and New Mexico, spent some time with family, but also a whole business conference. So we're back to New York feeling refreshed and ready to get into it. So, Alex, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, brother. Hello, everyone. Mi gente. Super happy to be back. Super excited about today's show. Our guest is going to be one that's going to be teaching us a lot, especially for me on my end. Like I spoke to Dwayne, my business partner. I'm always here to learn as much as, to be able to offer the resources, but it's going to be a great conversation. Right. And I'll let, Dwayne, I'll let you take it away and do the introduction as always. And yeah, let's enjoy our show. Let's kick some butt.
Exciting, man. Yeah, as he said, we have a special guest. His name is Matt McCoy. If you don't know him, you should. He is the founder of Soul City TV and the network that this show airs on. But Matt is I would call him almost a serial entrepreneur. I don't know if he likes that term or not, but he's been in the world of business since a teenager. Has had many successful ventures, and right now is doing a lot of cool stuff with Soul City in different neighborhoods all across the country, but also in some other lanes as well. So whatever he decides he wants to talk on tonight, we're excited to do that. But Matt McCoy is going to join us, and we're going to have a little conversation related to his recent trip down to Tulsa for the 100-year anniversary of Black Wall Street. And so any of you that are familiar with Black Wall Street, the Oklahoma and Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, and all of the stuff that's happened, they wanted to really commemorate the amazing legacy of Tulsa, but also look ahead and see how we're going to rebuild some of the Black Wall Street and business initiatives that were founded during that time. So Matt, pleasure to have you with us, brother.
Hey guys, what's going on?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
All right. Good. Here I am again. My third time my fourth time in 3 days.
Excellent. Popular man.
It's all good.
When you're in demand, that's how it works.
Yo, man, I never thought I would be this much in demand, but it's all good. I can't complain, man. I can't complain. Life is good.
You're doing a lot of good stuff, man. And we're really excited. Ever since we first connected and had the chance to talk to you about what we wanted to do with this show and the platform we wanted to create. And we're still building it. And obviously, it's going to continue to grow. But it's been really a pleasure to work with you and understand your vision for Soul City and how you want to have Soul City impact Black communities, but communities all across the country, and really bring valuable resources and I'll say television, but really valuable information. That you didn't want this to be a Zeus network, no knock, no shade, but a network that was just showing entertainment for the sake of entertainment, or Ratchet TV, that you really wanted to build this. So can you tell us a little bit about what got you in the idea of creating a Soul City? What did you see that was missing in the market that said, I want to create my own Black-owned television broadcast network?
It was really out of my frustration with television. Okay. And I've done some productions for BET and VH1 and MTV, And but you know, as a producer, my specialty is in live productions, doing live events. And but you know, I definitely know television and produce for that. But if you're a producer and you're waiting for a call from somebody to call you to, you know, for a job or whatever, which that wasn't my thing. I didn't need them to call me for anything. I was fine doing my own stuff. But it's frustrating. And I can imagine, I know tons of producers and friends who are producers and directors, and it's frustrating trying to get a gig, you know, on these. But the turn of events that happened years ago in cable with the so-called Black, or let's just say urban themed programming, when it started going what I call far left or south, whatever you want to say. And,
south into the gutter.
You know what I'm saying? And it was going down. It was going down. And you know, the programming was the same. It was the same stuff. It became reality TV. You know, it was black women fighting and screaming at each other on TV, with black men selling drugs, and you know, so the stereotypical stereotypes of, you know, black images were coming back. And I saw it, you know, BET when it first started, they were great. They had news programs and they had, you know, all these cool programs, and they got rid of their cool programming and went more into the ratchet stuff, you know, let's say, you know, so I just got tired of seeing it. And I knew I had the know-how and the knowledge base. And then I originally was just going to start a streaming server and for streaming content. And that was what I was originally going to do. And then a good friend of mine, who I've known for many years, he knew about what I was doing. He was doing something similar to that, and he stopped. And I hadn't talked to him about 8 years. And I wasn't sure what he was doing, but he called me and said, "How you doing with your streaming service?" I said, "Yeah, I'm about 2 months away from launching." He said, "Well, hey, how about you come to TV instead?" And I was at TV. I said, "I only have $6 billion." And because everybody knows it's about $6 billion to
launch a network.
At this point, it's probably $8 billion now to launch a TV network 24/7 on, you know. So I was like, I know I got a couple of dollars, you know, saying, but I ain't got $8 billion, you know. And we said, no, you know, I got a way. I'm distributing cable TV stuff now. So he broke it down to me how he got into the game, and which was brilliant, and how he did it. He's a very, very smart man, very tech, and, you know, owns a lot of patents and stuff. And, you know, he said, hey, you know, I'm looking for, you know, people to come in and be part of my distribution. Thought about it. You know, I was at that point getting ready to start the streaming service, probably only going to cost me a couple $100,000, you know what I'm saying, and get that done, relax, you know, buy my condo in Harlem and sit back and relax at an early age and, you know, just chill. Right. You know, I had money and, you know, but so, you know, talked over my sister, Yana, who's my financial advisor. You guys should have on your show one day. And, you know, said, well, I want to do this. It's going to cost me, you know, quite a few million, and probably every damn penny I have. And she was like, well, that's on you. You know, that's what you want to do it, so to speak. We talked it over. She said, well, I'll help in any way I can, you know, but it is an important mission. So I did it, put all my chips in the middle of the table, and that was in 2016. And actually 2015, we actually did that. In 2016, we actually launched June 23rd, 2016, and
so anniversary coming up, huh?
Yeah, man, come think about it. Yeah, right. You know, it's funny because I never forget the day I came home. At that point, I was in Harlem doing poetry, and my sister had this poetry company. We became the largest producers of spoken word content in the country, and we just matter of fact, we just celebrated our 24th year, and so I was doing this stuff in Harlem for 20 years, and at the club doing the show, and I came home. It was about 2:00 in the morning. By the time I got home, and I'm standing in front of my TV. TV's off. It's dark in the house, and my voice said, "Turn the TV on and look for your network." And at that point, we were on Verizon nationally. So we were on Verizon at that point. So we were here, and I had Verizon. I said, all right. So I turned the TV on, and we actually launched on the on-demand platform, which was our secret. How I saved $8 billion. You know, I say it was like I had it and stuff, right? But I turned the TV on and went there, and there it was.
That's awesome. Two questions.
Uh-huh.
Two questions. How'd you come up with the name Soul City, or why Soul City? And two, what kind of content were you most excited to get out there when you first started?
All right, why Soul City and the name? Yeah, there was a place in South Carolina called Soul City. Looked up, and it was called Soul City. It was a township that they were trying to build, similar to Black Wall Street, but it never got off the ground. It never really got off the ground properly, and struggling to create the name, I wanted something that would speak to the soul of Black and Latino people in the community. And so I said, all right, so there's Soul City. That way I can expand it into, in the city, there's various things in the city, resources. So then the Soul City in South Carolina came up. I said, well, you know what? I'll call it Soul City. So that's kind of how it came up. And your second question was the best program or the most
type of content that you were looking to put out to counteract the ratchet.
Okay. Right.
What kind of content?
I really wanted to bring edgy programming. I definitely did not want to be family TV. Like Magic Johnson did when he launched Aspire. He launched Aspire. It was family TV. Oprah, when she launched OWN, it was, supposed to be family TV or something like that. They both failed miserably. I'm not a prude. Anybody who knows me, I do have a wild side, and my sister, she's like the total opposite of me and stuff. So, our last show, poetry wise, was erotic poetry. We were doing that. That was a wild show. Anybody who came to our show, they would know. I would walk by women in the street, the next things, look at me and smile and stuff. Saying, so I didn't want to, but I wanted to do something that was conscious without being ratchet, or without being overly preachy. Or I didn't want to be a religious channel, So I said, well, we're just gonna just do what we do and have fun. I just refuse to do ratchet TV. That's all. As long as I don't do ratchet TV, I'm good. So then, so we have financial shows on there. We have, talk shows. We have comedy shows. Of course, the poetry is coming soon. So anything but ratchet TV is what I'm staying away from. And stuff, because again, you still got to get the eyes of the people, which is where Oprah fell when she first started. And love Ayanna Von Sant, but sometimes you can watch her on TV, talking about stuff. So so I paid attention to what was going on in television with Black television. I see where the turns went with BET, where VH1 was doing, and it is no Black television out there now anyway. So none of them are Black owned. I'm the only percent Black owned.
That's why I mentioned Zeus Network, because I believe it's Black owned.
Okay. God bless them. Saying
it's not at the standard that I would consider the TV. Last question before Alex goes. So, I know you've done a lot of different stuff. How did the call come for you to go down to Tulsa this last month, for you to really be so entrenched and ingrained in the Black Wall Street celebration? What happened there, and how did that call come about?
That came about by my now sister and good friend Tara Renee, who is the owner and founder of African American Women in Cinema. I've been supporting them for I guess a little over a year now, and that support we formed friendships. Anything they're doing, I'm always willing to help out. And she got the first call to get involved and to do a film festival. They specialize in film festivals. They asked her to do a Black film festival, and I guess in her dealings with the World Council of Mayors and seeing what was going on, they probably need a little bit of help with organization, and, programming and putting it together from the technical end of it. And I guess she said, "Hey, I have a friend who owns a TV network, and he'll be glad," because they didn't ask any other network to come down. But when they heard about us, they checked us out, and they asked her to call me. You know, when I get involved, and then that's when they also found out about my sister also, because they were trying to figure out where the awards were going, and then somebody mentioned, well, it's Black Wall Street. Did you get the first Black woman on Wall Street an award? Is she listed for an award? They like, oops, and so they, you know, there was a lot of oops going on, and so that's kind of how we got involved. And you know me, anybody who knows me, once I get involved, it's over. I'm going to come in like a whirlwind, and be respectful about the thing.
Take it to the next level.
But
take it to the next level.
Yeah, I gotta, because I gotta represent myself and you. You know what I'm saying? So, so it was a wonderful thing. Probably I've done some great things in my life that's been really cool, but this was probably the most satisfying in the sense of I got a part to feel that energy of Black Wall Street, to walk those streets. The only thing I didn't do, we forgot to do, was take our shoes off and walk on the street and let the earth touch the soles of our feet. But you can feel the energy, man, seeing the stuff. So that's kind of how we got involved, and the rest of the story gets even longer.
Well, that's what we want to talk about, right? We want to hear a little bit, not a little bit, a lot more about that. I wasn't there. Dwayne wasn't there. We didn't get to experience what you experienced. And I would love to hear more about that, right? What was your experience like? What were some surprises, some things that you might have learned that were unexpected? And I guess those things that turn into inspiration, because obviously, backstage, you're coming back home with a big different energy, right? The same, it's direct in the same way, but it seems to be, in a much larger. Yeah.
It's, to answer your question, it's my journey for that week was interesting. And it was a roller coaster ride. It was up and down. And as far as my energy was always high. I was excited to be there and be a part of this monumental event. But to be there and not see our people owning anything, that area, we own that whole area. You know what I'm saying? And now we get there and they don't own it. And the people who have stores there, and they're renting from others that don't look like us, and they're building all these condominiums around the area, and these big condominiums are going up now, and they're new developments, and like, wow, they really build this place up all of a sudden. My first time there, so I'm like, okay, but I know it's not us buying those condos. That was bittersweet for me, because I'm here, but I'm like, wow, we don't own nothing, and other people are now building this area up that we once owned. So my mission from that moment was to, okay, fine, how can I help in the reconstruction of it? How can I help us get our minds in the position and our lives in the positions and our focus in the position that we could start to reclaim some of that area for ourselves? Will we ever reclaim it all now again? Probably not, but that doesn't mean with technology you can still own, other things like we're doing right now. So you can, if you want to broadcast, you can broadcast. So my mission then became, okay, fine, what can I do? And meeting some phenomenal people from the World Council of Mayors, all these mayors that were past and present mayors who were part of the event, and them embracing us, thanking us and looking at us for some ideas. And then my sister Yana and I got invited into a special private meeting with some key people who were there, and because they wanted our opinions on the future and what we can do to help, and what we thought, and directions. And that was really, really interesting. That some really cool stuff came out of that, that going back towards the future. And I mean, I say very, very near future too. There's gonna be some great stuff getting ready to happen. But I was able to create my niche there, learn to lay the land a little bit, talk to the locals. Probably one of my best times there was meeting Felix Jones. If you guys remember Felix Jones, he was a running back for the Cowboys. Recently, I think he didn't play last year, but I think he played the year before. And I think he also played for the Steelers. But he bought a house, a mansion there in Tulsa on the outskirts that was owned by the man who was the head of the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
And the Klan is the one that started that massacre. And I think the man who started it, the head of it, that was his house. And Felix bought the house, and he owns it now, and he's using it as a community gathering place where the community can come in and display artwork, have meetings, do stuff. I mean, and he was really cool. We took pictures with him and talked to him. We actually did an interview with him that you'll see soon on Soul City, talking about his experience, why he did it, you know, and why he's trying to make it, what it's going to make. He and I will be talking, and he said, hey, you want to open an office here? Do it, you know, and come. So I'm probably going to do that. So that was probably one of the highlights, just meeting the brother, young brother who said, well, you know what? I'm going to reclaim this space right here. And it was a mansion. It's up on here, and it kind of overlooks the city too, overlooks the area where it is. So that was cool. Going to the People's Hall of Secrets. I'm saying it wrong right now. It'll come to me, but it's the People's Secrets. Public the Museum of Public Secrets. That's the name of it. And what it was is it's a wall full of pictures of all the people who created the Tulsa Massacre. The Klan members, the police chiefs, and their names and their titles and their involvement in it. These people, and their history, they chronology. It was dope.
So, to what extent did those people get caught, persecuted, or otherwise? I was going to say, my assumption was that they didn't know who it was, or that they did, that everyone went scot-free.
They never did. It was an inside job. You know, the police was in on it. The mayors and governors were in on it.
Yeah, you have to be dropping bombs. I mean, no way.
Yeah, man. If you look at it, they deputized people to kill the black people. The police force deputized regular citizens, you know, to kill and to, you know, go out there once it all kicked off, you know. And so it's an interesting story, you know, interesting place.
Not that you just say that, I would like, I think for the sake of our listeners, right? Because I know we were part of a conversation like this on your show, but I'm not, you know, I think we're also out here assuming that everybody knows what Black Wall Street is, right? And what happened those days. I know I have family members watching the show that, you know, this history wasn't part of their history books. Something they've learned also, right? I got aunts and uncles that probably never heard of this and are watching the show right now, and to that big pain point, right, of this history being erased and somewhat our duty, right, to bring it back to the forefront. So, Matt, you know, would you be able to give us a little bit of a nice little recap of what Black Wall Street was and everything that happened, just, you know, for the sake of some of our viewers that may not have a complete understanding of the devastation it caused?
Yes, sir. And, you know, unfortunately, there are so many people who don't know about it. And so many black people who don't know about it. And which is crazy, but it's funny. I think I read that the current mayor of Black Wall Street of Tulsa didn't even know it. He didn't even know it, you know, that it existed. Even you know, couldn't have existed. It wasn't that, you know, couldn't have been that bad. It wasn't a massacre. That was recently and stuff.
And supposedly he was born and raised there.
Yeah, exactly. Born and raised there. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing too. You have there's a story in an article of a young rapper, Seth. I can't remember, Seth Stevens, I believe it is, or Simons. It's a rapper who he met Felix Jones because he was taking pictures in front of his house, the mansion. And Felix came out and said, "Hey, what you doing?" and stuff. And he was like, "I'm just taking pictures." He said, "Come inside. Take pictures inside if you want to." And they kind of started talking. He told him the history. The guy never knew the history. He was born and raised there, and never knew the history. And then his rap started changing. He went from doing trap rap, whatever he was doing, to doing conscious rap about, you know, Black Wall Street and redeveloping, you know, our souls and nations and stuff like that. So, So the history, you know, basically this the migration of black folks to Oklahoma after slavery. So, you know, let's say we're talking about, you know, the 1880s, 1890s, went to Oklahoma and settled in Tulsa. A lot of these people didn't have opportunities anywhere else. Say settled in Tulsa, and they started just building their own community. And you know, they acquired the land or however they did, and started building their own community. And many of them were professionals. They were doctors, they were attorneys, they were, they owned grocery stores, and they started building this. And matter of fact, one of the founders, J.B. Stratford, is his name. He's one of the founders of Black Wall Street. I'm close with his great granddaughter, and Laurel Stratford. We brought her there also. We brought her with us to Black Wall Street. She got an award, and it was dope having her there. But so they founded this land, and this city. It was a 4-block radius. So it was Greenwood and Archer were the cross streets. But if you remember the senior group, the Gap Band, back in the days, that's where they're from. That's why they call the Gap Band. It's the acronym for Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. That's Black Wall Street, that area. And matter of fact, we met there the wife of one of them. She was there, and she told us some real funny stories and some history about the Gap Band. I can't say right now.
And that's also where they came up with the song "You Dropped the Bomb on Me."
Now, glad you said that, and I didn't, because my history of Black Wall Street was that song is really a code song for that. Yeah. Now, when I spoke to his wife, I asked her that direct question. I said, "Okay, so," and she said, "No, it wasn't. It was really about a girl that that left him or something like that, And I was like, she don't know the truth. She's not right.
That's true, man. That's hard to believe.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be my grave believing that song. You know what I'm saying? Until I sit down with Charlie Wilson myself and talk to him and stuff, and he tells me no, then if to this point, that's going to be the story. But yeah, the story was that, that's where that song came from. But, so a young man was in the elevator with a white woman, a young white girl. She was the elevator operator. And the elevator, long story is, the elevator opened up and they were in an embrace. And she screamed. When the elevator opened up, there was a man or a couple of men outside, white men. She screamed, pushed him away, and they accused him of raping her or trying to rape her. And they grabbed him, so forth and so on, and took him to jail. At that point, the word got to the men at Black Wall Street, and they gathered their guns, and about 21 of them went to the jailhouse. And they went with their guns and said, "You are not going to kill this boy. You are not going to harm this boy, blah, blah, blah." And they stood watch over him. The Klan at that moment found, because now the Klan, if you go to the Museum of Public Secrets, the Klan had been planning this for 3 years to destroy Black Wall Street. This was it. This was the point of entry for them. They then gathered, white men gathered and went to the jailhouse. Now you have a standoff, of 20-some black men, 20-some white men with guns. And the story is a shot rang out. Somebody fired a shot. And then that's when the shooting started. And from that point, now the Klan mobilized, the police got together, and they started burning down the town and dragging people out of their houses and killing them. And burning down their houses, and people had to run to escape Black Wall Street. They had what they call the Century Walk. They had to run for 5 miles to cross the train track to get to the other side to where they could be safe. But now, if you look at the pictures of Black Wall Street and you see what happens, this was not a gunfight alone, and it wasn't just some people burning down some buildings. These houses were leveled as if a bomb was dropped on it. The official report is no bomb was dropped on it. It was, whatever, but, yeah, right. Tell me anything you want to tell me. So I think it was always the Tulsa race riots is what it was always called. And, we called it a massacre. And finally, Joe Biden, when he was there, he declared it as a massacre also. He said it wasn't a riot, it was a massacre. And so that's the story. But there's the backstory again with the man and the woman, the black man, the young black man and the woman. They were lovers. They were already in a relationship together, secret relationship. But when the door opened up and these white men are standing there, she got scared and screamed, and then naturally pushed him away, blah blah blah, and that's what caused everything. But
she's one of the original Karens, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the basics of the story. So now we're just looking back at the history and moving forward with how we're going to reconstruct this, how we're going to rebuild it, how we're going to make do on the work. The beautiful thing about Black Wall Street, Alex, before you jump in, is the money in Black Wall Street circulated in that neighborhood for 3 to 5 years. The money, and they had everything you can think of. They had a transportation system, mass transportation system. You name it, they had it. Stores, doctors' offices, barbershops, you name it, it was there. It was a full functioning city. But for money, the black dollar in the community right now, if it circulates for 5 hours, it's a long time. Not to mention, 3 to 5 years. So just imagine if our money circulated in Harlem for 3 to 4, some part of the Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, or other areas for 3 to 5 years. That's money. That's power. And so our money leaves our community quickly, and other people get it, and they circulate it in their communities. So
I got a question that I wanted to ask, and you just kind of gave me the segue for it. But MLK said, "I fear I've integrated my people into a burning house." Right. Other than segregation being the only way to recreate Black Wall Street, I guess what ways are you looking at of recreating a similar scenario? What type of conditions need to be met to create that type of foundation for Black and brown communities to start having their own, to have the resources, the business, the capital, the know-how to actually have a self-sustaining community? Because we're not going back to segregation, so given that this is what we have now, where is the opportunity to recreate that, you think?
I think it's really, at this point, it's a mindset. I believe it's a mindset. You have to want to support your own first.
Yep.
And that's, once you can start doing that, then everything else becomes easy. Everything else falls in place. So if I know that, and I personally do try to do this, spend 90% of my money at a Black-owned business. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes I want to go to a white restaurant because I want a particular thing on the menu, but that's rare considering, if I'm going to eat out, let's say, 10 times a month, then 8 times a month, I'm going to a Black-owned restaurant, and I'm going on my way to walk an extra block or two to go to a Black-owned grocery store, or what have you. So if we did that, the money starts to circulate. See what I'm saying? So we don't really even need segregation. Or anything that's actually happening, Exactly. So if you look at
you tell everybody watching right now, get your Amazon Prime memberships and buy your shit and buy your stuff from WeBuyBlack.com.
There you go.
The online sites.
Yeah, support your own. You can. The whole point is, and my friend Sean Rochester, the author, you got to definitely get him on your show. The author of the Black Tag. Yeah. Sean on one of our shows said it. I asked him direct questions. So, how he said, well, you know what? I asked him about boycotting, because I believe you want to make a change, just boycott. You ain't got to do that. Just don't buy that shit. You know what I'm saying? And, people will change. When money affects everybody, they will change. And he said something that was very key to me that I never forgot. He said that boycotting is fine, but you don't have to do that. Just stop boycotting Black businesses. Right. We unknowingly boycott our own businesses every day. So we just stopped doing that. And we just shifted, and even 50% of our money went to Black. You know how much money we would have in our communities? How much we'd be able to do if we just took 50% of our money, not 90%. You know what I'm saying? So, those things are very, very important. That you spend money with a person of color, you and then build and work with each other. We have to work with each other. We have to trust each other. We have to, even when things go wrong. I ain't the most perfect person in the world, and and made mistakes in life, and so on, and everybody will. The whole point is you get beyond it, you keep moving. So you find ways to work and to make it happen, because that's the only way we're going to be able to build Black Wall Street, which is kind of where I am now with my focus on next year's events and what have you. So
very good. So Matt, I'm curious. I tend to read a lot of philosophy on my end, and one of the things that I appreciate is just, the problems philosophy is what words mean to people, right? And we could sit here and debate what certain words mean, and you use the word reconstruction a lot tonight, and how that's the move forward. So my question to you, what does reconstruction mean to you, right? What does reconstruction mean to the people, right? Just because again, it's something that I'm hearing you say, and I'm sure I have my thoughts and what that means, but I'm very interested in understanding exactly where you're coming from with that principle and that push.
And I can, and words are very important. For me, it's about rebuilding, reclaiming, and to we take ownership of what we had, and the only way to do that is you got to rebuild it. You got to reconstruct the first. We got to reconstruct your mind first of all, as we talked about earlier, but then say, okay, fine, what's the next steps? How do we reconstruct our relationships with each other to want to do that? How do we work together and say, hey guys, I'm doing this, I need help. You want to get involved. You know what I'm saying? And say, oh yeah, this sounds cool, I'll get involved. And everybody move forward together to accomplish one goal. And because usually once you can accomplish one goal, that one goal could feed many. You know what I'm saying? If we can get to that point. But so it's really about rebuilding. I always start with the mind first, and try to get away from the physical aspects of things, deal more with the metaphysical aspects of things and say, hey, fine, it's your mind first. Control your mind. I think George Clinton says, free your mind, your ass will follow. It's important. We got to free our minds from the chains and shackles that we still have on them. Slavery is still in effect. We just don't realize it because we've been conditioned to think everything's okay. Because you can walk around free, it's like the tethered elephant syndrome. You got this big power beast that you chain him up long enough, he thinks he's still chained. A little rope is holding him. He can pull away any moment he wants to, but he believes he's still chained. So that's kind of where we are right now. We believe we're still chained, or still less than, or still not able to accomplish things. And I refuse to believe that. And I refuse to have anybody around me that believes that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sandy is the girl she's my host of one of my shows, and anything live I do, she's on the scene with us all the time. And she talked about Queen Mother Blakely, who was there. And she was also there. She's from Harlem. And she had a conversation with Biden, had a meeting with him coming up. And her cry for the whole thing was, Biden, we don't need to hear anything. Reparations? Forget, just cut the check. Yeah, cut the check. That's all you got to do. She's doing that for $3 trillion. Well,
I would say, which check are we cutting? Because this is the reparations check.
Yeah, the reparations check.
An investment into black.
Yeah, the reparations check is starting at $3 trillion. That's what it's going to start at. That's the first down payment. It's $3 trillion.
And what do you think the number is? I've heard the number around 15 trillion. I don't know where the actual number is. Do you have a number in mind?
You know what, bro? I actually have, and I'll share with you guys off this one day, just get your opinion. I created a reparations piece myself that, at the very least, will get the conversation started. Not every black person is going to love it. I don't even love it myself, but you got to start somewhere in negotiations. You know what I'm saying? So negotiating with somebody, you got to start somewhere. You got to give a little, get a little. And we know that they don't want to give us anything, so we got to get what we can, and then build from there. If we get a little, we can collectively put it together and have a lot and do more. So I don't really have a number. I mean, because again, you look at it psychologically. I'm a realist also. I always look at, if you want to stimulate the economy, just give every black person $5 billion.
Okay, so this is always my point. Number one, I'm a Black American. I was born here, but my entire family's from Barbados. We don't have any significant roots here in the U.S. from before I came. I'm the first one, born in the country. And so I don't think reparations are coming to me. So I kind of don't have a dog in the fight in a personal sense, but in a community sense, I do, right? And I very much believe reparations should be paid. But I'm also like you. I think it's just going to be a stimulus package if we don't change the mindset and the current structure.
Right.
Because the money circulates for 6 hours now. Stimulus check of reparations ain't gonna last for nothing but maybe 10 hours.
Man, there'll be a Cadillac in every driveway.
It's just gonna come in and go right back out because we haven't changed the mindset and we also haven't changed the system. The structure is still not set up in a way that we can probably hold on to that. If a lot of it's just gonna be back to paying bills, to paying debt, or to buying nice shit, then where is the growth, right? So if there's no economic growth to come out of it, what's the point?
Yeah, man.
And I don't want to say that for everybody who gets reparations. I'm sure there's plenty of people who would know what to do with it, but I'm sure many more.
But we know the masses, the overwhelming majority probably doesn't. And that's just from the data. Yeah, that's just from the data. Like that's not me being biased. No, and I agree with you. And I love my people, but we're in the position we are now because we don't understand. We don't get it. Saying we are very materialistic in what we do. And our mindsets, again, we give us $5 million. I guarantee you, within 2 years, that $5 million will go right back into the economy. The economy will stimulate it overnight. For black folks buying Mercedes, and BMW.
So it's the case I make for the government. Like if you want, just cut the check because you're probably gonna get it back. You're probably gonna get it back.
Yeah, man. And that's it. And Sandy just reminded me that $3 trillion was just for her. That was for her. I'm thinking that she's gonna share. That was just for her.
So Mother Blakely got $3 trillion.
Yeah, but we also get $3 trillion.
The rest of us can share the other 12.
What number can you logically place on something like this at this point? But if you look at it, every other race in the world has gotten reparations except for us. Except for Black Americans. We're the only ones who never got reparations. Just look that up. Look at it. The Japanese, the Jews, everybody. We didn't.
And that 40 acres would be worth a whole lot of money.
If you just gave us the value of the 40 acres in the mule.
If you just gave us the mule.
You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Sure. But, I mean, it is what it is, unfortunately, but all we can do is try to help change the mindset. Can I do it in my lifetime? I don't know. But
change the narrative. Right?
So, and that's what social is about, to control the narrative of who we are. To let us know, no, we can. There are other ways of doing it. Here are other great people, who are doing their things. There's the Wayne Norris and Alice Alvarez who are doing great things in the community. Not everybody's selling drugs. Not everybody's trying to get a hustle on. We're hustling, trying to get the community up, trying to lift the community up and bring the community back to greatness. So, we got to show people, and there's probably more of us out there. We just don't know them yet because nobody focuses on that. They focus on the negative stuff. So,
And I wanted to add something. Oh, sorry, Wayne. Just wanted to add that.
You're good. I was gonna say that's not this show. We're not bringing the negative. And I do know you have to run, so Alex, go ahead. The last couple questions.
No, not questions, but just points. There's the fact that what Matt is talking about of keeping things in the community and what we're bringing to the table is happening right before you, right? This show is not free, right? And we say this with the idea and letting you know that we believe in Matt's network and we're willing to invest in his network. And the fact that we're not only investing in his network, we are investing because of that principle, because we want to be able to uplift our communities and be able to give those hands up, just like Matt is giving us a hand up and is worth of value to us because he's helping us get ourselves out there and also create more business for ourselves, right? And also bring other people onto the show to be able to share their stories and share exactly what they're doing, how they're impacting the world, and what resources they potentially need from the community, right? So, as I was hearing you speak, and I guess sometimes as our saying goes, we're so deep in the forest we don't see the trees, right? And I just wanted to take that moment for us to pull ourselves out of the forest and see the trees, and the fact that we're out here doing exactly that and putting exactly that work, and it's not just speaking about our own individual work by ourselves and trying to be the change agent and so forth, but we're actually synergizing together and working together to create that circulation that creates value and wealth, right? Because what we're talking about here is not becoming rich or creating rich people in our communities, but creating a legacy and wealth within our community that generations could live off from and generations could be proud of, right? So, so again, this is the microcosm of exactly that, and within that, team, I always appreciate you both for allowing me to be a part of this conversation. You know, as much as this, you know, I'm a brown person in this country, you know, that has its own history as well of discrimination, prejudice, and hardships. It's one of which we've lived in parallel, right? And the fact that, you know, you both allow me to share that history with you and understand better and learn every single time I'm part of this conversation, that it gives me even more of an inspiration to do the work that we do at Soulful Synergy and continue to be that support system so others can empower themselves is exactly what this conversation has inspired me to continue to do. So Matt, I wanted to thank you for that. And Dwayne, again, my business partner, always my brother in arms, man, just always allowing me to continue to grow and learn with you and learn about history and things that I didn't get the opportunity to learn and which are teaching me lessons as we speak. And I want to thank you both for sharing and allowing me to be a part of this conversation.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. You know what? The thing is for me, people of color, we're all one people to begin with. You know, all of our roots, if we really understand, you know, how to trace roots, and we all come from the same source. You know what I'm saying? Just the slave ship just went somewhere else. That's all it was. Slave ships went to Puerto Rico. Slave ships went to the Dominican Republic. Slave ships went to other areas that dropped the people off. Dominican Republic and Haiti right next to each other. It's the same damn people. You know what I'm saying? But somebody found a way to divide them, you know what I'm saying, and get them to fight each other. But, you know, for us, it's really about the soul. I know some white people got more soul than black people, to say the truth. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they understand. I never forget, I met a Puerto Rican guy many years. I was young. I was about maybe 19. I was coaching Little League Baseball in the Bronx. And his son, I never forget, his son was on my team. His son's name was Jossie. And I said, Jossie, I looked at the spelling of it. I said, that's an African name. You know, and I know Jossie means wonderful. And so I knew what it meant, you know what I'm saying, then. And I was like, and I asked him, I said, how did you get this African name? You know, naive as I was, to just ask him that, you know. He was very matter of fact, because our roots are in Africa. And he started rattling off the stuff to me. I already knew, but I was like, he knows that. And I was like, yeah, from that point on, I really understood and knew that we are the same people. Whether you're from Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or from Cuba or from wherever you are, it's the same damn people. You know what I'm saying? They're just over, you know, thousands of years or hundreds of years, even Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? Their roots are in Africa too. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's all one people. So when I say black people, I really am including everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know,
everybody who recognizes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And not everybody is, because some people, again, the brainwashing. Somebody can teach you and tell you that no, you're really white. Your roots are in Europe somewhere. Really, okay, you know, even Europe roots are in Africa. So you know, we can even go there with them and stuff. But so you know, but I appreciate you guys for your work, what you're doing in the community. I'm proud to have you guys on the Soul City Network. I am the voice right now, but I always tell people there were other people around me that you really should talk to and get their opinion. You know, talk to my sister Yana. Find out why she's down with the city. Why she does good. Talk to Sandy, you know, and you know our host on Detroit City. Whatever. Talk to Sandy why she with Soul City. Talk to Jasmine Pfeiffer who runs the marketing department. Talk to her. There are plenty of people who are around that I would rather hear their voices than mine. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the souls of Soul City. I'm just a man who had a couple of bucks and a good idea, but I know how to do shit. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do it without these other people. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a team to make it happen. All right, I might be the captain of the team, but there are many times I am tired. And my sister Yana picks it up. I got this. You know what I'm saying? Or Jasmine picks it up and says, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Or Sandy says, I got you. Don't worry about it. She goes out into the crowd and she starts talking to people and motivating people and so on and so on. It takes a village to be successful. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village for all of us to be successful. Not all of us know, you know, if we live in your house, not everybody is a good cook. Somebody got to cook. Somebody's a better cleaner. Somebody got to clean. Somebody got to wash. It takes teamwork. So with what you guys are doing, what we're doing with Soul City, and everybody involved in it, is teamwork. And that's the only way we're going to be able to rebuild Black Wall Street is through teamwork.
And Dwayne, we heard this a lot in this last conference, right? Is that we could get to the moon by ourselves and we get to the stars together.
There you go.
And
the moon by yourself be lonely.
Oh, definitely not. My squad, our squad knows that there's going to be a lot of adventures and experiences that we're going to do together, and it's exactly that, right? It's I would mirror that sentiment, Matt, in which Dwayne and I tell him every single day, and the team that we have, of how appreciative I am. And I'm definitely not the captain, so I can't even say such a thing. I'm probably sitting on the bench until you put me in, coach.
Yeah, man, you can be a co-captain. You can be the co-captain.
I'll be the water. I'm running quickly into the field, and I got you,
man. Even the water boy serves a purpose.
Exactly.
You don't even know.
Everybody's important. Nobody's higher than nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And, and if we think that way, we're good. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm any better than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I might have to run shit, time to just say, well, let's just do it this way, because I just know it's going to work this way. Mm-hmm. And, if it doesn't happen, it's my money that got sacrificed or whatever. But, but we have to learn to work together, I learned it every day working with the wonderful people around me. And the help, even the friends, who even watch these shows, who just, friends of mine on Facebook and other friends of mine I've known for years. And, Cindy Melvinas, who chimed in early and said hi, and, others who support you just by their presence, by their prayers, by their well wishes. That energy is important. You know what I'm saying? If you have a whole bunch of people who are throwing negative energy on you, that's rough. But when you have a whole bunch of people giving you positive energy and lifting you up all the time, hey, do you need something? Do you need to ride somewhere? Do you need it? You know what I'm saying? Those things to me mean the world. That's worth $1 million to me, just to have people like that around me. So, I'll never ever sacrifice the good people around me for $1 million. Don't get me wrong, I should have both.
Yeah, it was good, but for sure, we know what's important. So thank you, Matt, for sure. Thank you for those words of insight. But Dwayne, as always, man, I'll let you take us off. Any thoughts?
I don't think I have a whole lot extra to add, man. Literally everything you said is.
I ask you guys, when you get some more free time, do another show. But let me come back and bring those other people with me. Let me bring Jasmine and Sandy and the other people so you can talk to them and get their experiences at Black Wall Street and their experiences of why they're involved with so much shit. I mean, Jasmine, I don't pay her enough, for the work she does. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I know I don't. And I will make restitution to her at some point in life. Make sure that I'm gonna give her a big ass check. What the hell is this for? I'm just catching up. You know what I'm saying? There's work that people do for you that you can't pay them for. You know what I'm saying? They do it out of their heart and their souls to be involved. So I would love for you guys to do a show, and I can come back and bring that. Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%. It's everything you said. That's why I said I don't have much to add, because what you said is really what we created this platform for. We created our business.
Appreciate you guys.
It's about teamwork. It's about collaboration. It's about community. It's like how do you build something together so that we all have a vested interest and a vested stake, because that's what's going to last, right? If everybody feels like that has nothing to do with me, right? I don't have any stake in that. I don't own that. That's not for me. Then you have no real value for it. It's why when black folks were burning down the targets and white folks were mad, it's like, well, I don't own that target. That's not my target. That has nothing to do. So it's like if we build it together, we all have a vested interest. We're all going to take care of it more. We're all going to share it more. We're going to pass it down, and that's really to me what that teamwork and community is.
Yes, sir.
And so what you outlined and identified is the same way we feel. We have a team of people that do above and beyond work than what we could compensate them for. But they know what's coming, and because they see the bigger vision, and they'd rather be on this team that's going somewhere with vision.
Guess what? And teams can work together. Yes, and teams can work together. That's what makes a league. You know what I'm saying? People watch the NBA. It's a league of teams. that make people watch, not just one team run over down the court. You know what I'm saying? It's a league of teams working together, you know, to make something work. We all can work together, you know.
Definitely not just one person. Imagine watching MJ ball for 3 hours straight.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You get bored. The motherfucker's amazing. If he wasn't playing against somebody else, you know, so it's like it is very much the team. There's no one man show for anything. And as you get older, if you don't recognize that, you will definitely not find success, because it is very much about a collaboration. Well, I'm blessed every day to work with my best friend and business partner there. I love that man over there. That's my brother. And what we're building together, even if it takes us 100 years, I'd be happier building it with him than I'd be trying to build it myself. And that is a blessing in itself. So I hope everybody watching gets to learn more about Matt and Soul City TV. They got a lot of big things coming up, a lot of big events they're covering, a lot of big productions that they're in the works of. We can get to talk about NASCAR, which he's running a whole black.
Next time I come back, though, we'll do 90 minutes.
He's taking over a whole industry where black folk never were, and making sure he makes a stamp for the rest of us to follow behind. And anyway, just a blessing to always be with you, brother. You share so much knowledge, and we'll let you get to Harlem and do what you got to do for the rest of the night. But thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for watching. We really appreciate y'all. People power. Mi gente, we love y'all, and thank you for supporting our work.
Mi gente, thank you so much. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun, and I'll see you until next time.
Peace.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.